All right, all right, all right. Let's clap it up, clap it up. Clap it up, Israel. Clap it up, clap it up. Tonight is brotherhood class. Like we always say, brotherhood, synonymous with sisterhood. So whatever we say for the brothers, it goes for the sisters too, and likewise. You understand? Islam Israel with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the descendants of the greatest people to ever walk the face of this earth, and the Bible identifies us as the true biblical Jews of the Bible. Tonight's class is on who is salvation, who is salvation for, or salvation is for the Jews. One thing we don't know, a lot of us don't know who the real biblical Jews are. We're going to touch on those points today, who the real biblical Jews are. You understand? I saw something today, man, really got me hot and pissed off. And I got to say salat yeah to my rib. I mean, I had a little attitude after I saw it on news, man. We watching the news after we walk in the door. And we see that Attorney General Letitia James giving that speech talking about we gotta come together and we gotta support Israel. I hate when I see black people talking about supporting the people who have never supported us. And it got me hot. It got me fired up. It got me angry because time after time after time, just like we seen them putting up all of the Ukrainian flags. They want to help the Ukrainians. They want to help the people in France. You understand? They want to help the Afghans. You understand? And these are the very people that have their foot on our neck. We got the attorney of New York, Letitia James, speaking for a people that hate us, calling them the Jews. They need us. They don't need us. They have never set foot or stepped up to help us. The crazy thing is in New York, of all people, all places, where they stealing houses. The so-called Jewish man is stealing houses from our people, from the blacks and Hispanics. All of those brownstones are being stolen by the so-called Jewish man. And she had the nerve to stand up and say we need to support. It's an atrocity to see babies being murdered. And they murder our babies every day. People being dragged from cars. They drag us from cars every day. People, the elderly being killed and being abused. They abuse our elderly every day. And we have the nerve, our leaders have a nerve to stand up and speak for people who have continuously destroyed us. Continually destroyed us. They still destroying us. This is the reason why we should never follow a person or people that the Most High did not place over us. And Letitia James, Attorney General of New York, was not placed over us by the Most High. We are destroyed people. We forget where we come from. We forget our history. How can you ask for something knowing the history that we have had? Putting babies in cages. They put our babies, they got our babies in cages, right? And I can't believe people would ask to help a people who have our babies in cages. Right. Our babies are in cages. They refuse to let the Haitians come into our country, beating them on horseback. Right. You understand? How? Destroying the Hispanics country, and they coming for refuge, and you won't let them come in. But the very people you just had a 20-year war with, those Afghans, you bring them right into the country. Right. When has America ever... Listen, the Ukrainians are nothing but Russians. Right. These are Russians. You fighting a war with a people who hate us. You understand what I'm saying? And now it's Israel and Hamas. You understand what I'm saying? That's a fight of a people who should not be in the land that they are in.
Right.
They stole that land from the Palestinians. They was killing. Now I'm not on the side of no Palestinians. I'm not with them. But just last year, they had the Israeli soldiers going in, killing, shooting, and murdering Palestinians. I heard nobody stand up for the Palestinians.
Right.
I did see those Palestinians in New York beat the hell out of those Jews in New York when it happened. But why should we be involved? Why should we have love for those people? You understand? We are the people that need salvation. Salvation is for the Jew. We the people that need to be helped, that need to be saved.
Right.
We the people being destroyed every day. They get into one war, and everybody wants to come. Everybody wants us to come to their aid. Everybody wants us to love them. I have yet to see anybody love and come to our aid from the murder and the rape and the robbery that's happening to us, and it has been happening to us for damn near 500 years in America. I have yet to hear any African nation stand up, let alone any Jewish nation stand up for us. When did the so-called Jews stand up for us? When our people were being hung from trees in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, all the way up to the 80s and 90s. When did they stand up for us? When did the so-called Jews stand up for us? When what's his name? George Floyd got his neck knelt on.
Right.
When did the so-called Jews stand up for that? When did we get a Negro hate law? When did we get a Negro hate law? We've been fighting for that since we've been on the shores of America. When did we get that? But our leaders are standing up telling us we need to support a nation of people that hate us. Salvation should be for us. Salvation is not for any other nation of people. We are the people that need to be saved. We are the people that's being destroyed. People get in one fight and we run to their aid. We run to their aid. One fight and we run to their aid. I don't care how brutal it is. From all the brutality that we have been through, nobody has suffered the brutality that we suffer in America.
Right.
Nobody. I don't care what Holocaust you talk about. Nobody suffered like we suffered. I want to grab first scripture that I want to grab. Hold on, let me make sure I got the right one. I don't want to say nothing wrong. Hold on. Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10. Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10. Matter of fact, hold on for a second. We're gonna start at verse 9.
It's the book of Isaiah chapter 56, verse 9.
Hold on for a minute. I'm backwards. I'm backwards today. Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah chapter 56, verse 9. All ye beasts of the field come to devour. Yea, all ye beasts in the forest. Verse 10.
Hey, listen, check this out. All the beasts of the field come to devour. Every nation comes to devour us. You understand? Every nation comes and feeds off of us. Every nation comes to devour us. Every nation feeds their nation off the backs of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives of America and beyond, and in the four corners of the earth. You understand? Every nation feeds off of us. And everybody always cries for a nation that's outside of us. Our people always crying for a nation that's outside of us. But when it happens to us, oh, well, you know, Just another day in the neighborhood. You understand? Just another day in the neighborhood. Letitia James stood on her soapbox and looked disgusting, crying for Israel, or the so-called, what they call Israelis.
Right.
You understand? Crying for a nation that could care less about us. We just saw about a year or so ago, they had a Jewish rabbi on TV calling us monkeys.
Right.
Calling us monkeys. Calling us Goya. We always the first ones to stand up and fight for the people who ground us into powder. The very nations that disrespect us. The very nations that spit in our face when we need the help most. She stood on her soapbox. It disgusts me to see black people do what they do.
Right.
Blacks and Hispanics. It disgusts me that when they cry out for these raggedy nations and don't cry out for us. Everything that's happening to so-called blacks and Hispanics in New York, and you want to stand on your soapbox and cry for our enemy. How? How disgusting. That pissed me off today. I had a good day today. I had a good day all the way till I saw that. How can you stand for a people who continually spit in our faces? How can Let me see.
Oh, we back. We in here. I'm waiting for this bishop to come up and start this game. So
What happened?
I don't know what happened. It just
Okay.
cut off. We back. We still live.
We still live?
Come on.
Okay. You know, how can we stand for people that, I mean, continually, like I said, spit in our faces? How can we love these people? The scriptures say what? All ye beasts of the field come to devour. All the beasts of the field come to devour off of us. Look how they all up in our neighborhoods. You understand? We are the ones that need to be saved. Everybody feeds on us. Everybody. So-called Asians in our neighborhoods. So-called Arabs are in our neighborhoods. The Africans are in our neighborhoods. The Afghans gonna be in our neighborhoods soon. The Ukrainians gonna be in there soon.
Right.
You understand? Everybody gets a lick off of us. We never get a lick back.
Right.
This is our chance to get a lick, and we got our leaders standing up, crying out for the so-called Jewish man.
Right.
It's disgusting. Go ahead.
Come. Verse Isaiah chapter 56 and 10. His watchmen are blind.
Say that again.
His watchmen are blind.
Listen, our leaders are blind. Our leaders don't see the picture that we see here in Israel under Commanding General Yohana. They don't see what we see. They don't have an understanding like we do. You understand? And they don't have a love for their people like we do.
Right.
You understand? What the scriptures say, oppression maketh a wise man mad, but a gift destroyeth the heart. Letitia James took a gift.
Right.
The only way you can stand up and cry out for people that are disgusted by your looks is if you take a gift for them. That's it. You understand?
Right.
And she's an attorney general. She was born when? In 1958, got to be about 64 years old. Yeah, she's been taking gifts for a long time.
Right.
Oppression maketh a wise man mad. That's why we sit and we feel like we feel when we see our people going through what we feel, what they go through. Oppression make you mad. When you see your people being murdered in the streets and being done bad in the streets, it makes you mad. It makes you angry. It makes you upset. These are the things, these are the reasons why we got to do better. We got to stop supporting these leaders that support the enemy.
Right.
We got to stop supporting people who support the people that hate us. That goes for Michael Jordan. That goes for, what's his name? Charles Barkley. That goes for, who else? Who else is it? Amari Stoudemire. Come on, did you hear his raggedy ass? How you gonna be disgusted about what's happening to the Israelis? Like he really know. Like he really know. Like he was really in the fight.
Right.
You understand? And if I'm not mistaken, they said he's studying Judaism under a rabbi. Go ahead.
If I could. Amari Stoudemire heard from the Israelites on the corner that we was Jews, right? He didn't like pretty much black people talking about being Jews, but it triggered him, right?
Stop right there. Hold right there. How can you not like black people talking about being Jews, who we really are? How can you not? That's oppression right there.
Right.
He being doubly oppressed because he telling you to hate what he hate, and he hate the same thing that the people hate us with.
Right.
How can you? That's double oppression right there. He's a silly fool.
Right.
This is the reason why we shouldn't follow athletes, entertainers, singers, and dancers. This is the reason why we shouldn't follow people like that. Because they don't know anything. Amari Stoudemire took a gift a long time ago. Amari Stoudemire can't talk about the enemy like we talk about the enemy. Amari Stoudemire has to sit at the feet of the enemy and kiss their butts because he already took his gift. Amari Stoudemire can't be angry because he knows nothing of oppression. You understand? He's nothing but the enemy's dog. He's nothing but the oppressor's dog. That's it. Go ahead, finish what you were saying.
Oh, Salaki, sir. So yeah, he heard street speak, and then he researched it through the small hats.
Mm-hmm.
Small hats, dragged him in. You know what I'm saying? The only reason he dragged him in was he's a millionaire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If that was me and you know what I'm saying, heard some street speaking, like, I don't believe these niggas. I'm gonna go holler at small hat. And the small hat would turn us away because we ain't got no money.
Right.
So that's what happens. So like, yeah, he's been medical, whatever, them niggas. It's like one of them.
He's been into Judaism.
He's been into Judaism for over at least a decade.
And he knows nothing.
Nothing.
He knows nothing because if he did, he'd be in here with us. He'd understand who the real biblical Jews are. Mm-hmm. He hasn't even read the Bible. I know that because he's under the small hats. Right. If you read the Bible tells you that the Jews are black. Judah mourneth. Right? Who's Judah? Judah's the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Right. Is those small hats mourning? Do they look like they're in distress? They got all the money in the world. They run the Diamond District. They run the Silver Screen. They run the radio stations. They run everything. Right. They own the banking system. They can stop your money at any time. Didn't they do that to Kanye West? Didn't they take $2 billion from him? They unbillionaired him. Didn't they unbillionaire? What's his name? What's his name?
Who? Billionaire?
No, the Wildin' Out.
Oh,
Nick Cannon. They unbillionaired him for a minute, huh?
He don't with Dimitri or nothing no more, sir.
That's why Oprah won't open her mouth, because they'll unbillionaire her too. We destroyed as a people. And we fighting for the very people that kill us and murder us and hang us out to dry. Go ahead. What else you had?
That was it, sir.
Go ahead. Finish reading.
Oh, come. Isaiah chapter 56 and 10. His watchmen are blind.
Like I said, our watchmen are blind. They don't see the things that we see. They don't have the understanding that we have. You understand? Because they won't follow the Most High. They're following their hearts. They're following their lust. You understand? Go ahead.
They are all ignorant.
Say that again.
They are all ignorant.
Listen, Letitia James is ignorant. She is ignorant. You understand? Ignorant by not knowing, not having any understanding. She is ignorant of the truth. She has no knowledge. She has all kinds of law degrees. She has PhDs and everything else, but she is ignorant. Letitia James would never stand up and fight for so-called blacks and Hispanics. When did Letitia James stand up and fight for those Hispanics on the border in cages?
Right.
When did she stand up for when George Floyd got murdered? I don't remember that. You understand? I don't remember any of that. You understand? How about the Haitians on the border? Did she fight to get them food?
Right.
Did she fight to do anything for them? I don't remember any of that. Our watchmen are blind. It says what? They are all ignorant. You understand? They don't have the knowledge that we have. They don't have the understanding. And this is why we are destroyed as a people, because our leaders are ignorant. You understand? Go ahead, bro.
They are all dumb dogs.
They are what?
All dumb dogs.
Shalom, Lord Christ, sir. They are all dumb dogs. You understand? Why they call them dumb dogs? Why are they being called dumb dogs? Go ahead.
They call them dumb dogs because, the actual purpose of a dog is to alert.
To alert.
You know what I'm saying? They're not speaking out against the atrocities that's happening with blacks.
Listen, Letitia James will never speak out for the atrocities of our people. She will never speak out for the way I think about it, right? That same person that she spoke out for is kicking our people out of their houses in New York.
Right.
She right there in the Attorney General of New York. I've never heard her speak up for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, ever. But she was on her soapbox today. It's disgusting. They are all dumb dogs. They will never alert us to the dangers that are before us.
Right.
Ever. We are destroyed as a people because of our leaders. Hey, listen, thanks to Martin Luther King.
Right.
You understand? Integration. Listen, this is what integration gets us. You understand? This is what integration does for us. What we always say about integration, whenever you integrate into anything, you become the thing that you integrate into. Letitia James has integrated into America. So Letitia James has officially become an American. Here in the ISUPK, we'll never be American.
That's right.
We know exactly who we are.
Right.
We know exactly where we stand at. And we know exactly who we fighting for. We fighting for our brothers and sisters. We fighting for our wives. We fighting for our children. Because nobody else in America is going to fight for our children. Nobody in America is going to fight for our brothers that are locked up in the penitentiaries. Nobody's going to fight for our sisters that are pregnant, not knowing whether they want to go get abortions or not. You understand? Nobody going to fight for them, just us.
Right.
This is where the fight begins at. You understand? We are the ones that need to be saved. Salvation is for the Jew. We are the true biblical Jews of this Bible. We got to stand up and stand in our own identity. We got to stand for our own understanding, on our own understanding. You understand? Go ahead.
They cannot bark.
You just said that before. They cannot bark. They won't alert us to the dangers. That's why a lot of us are being destroyed as we are. They don't alert us to the laws that were created to destroy us. They don't alert us to the laws that are set out to take our houses, right, to put us in poverty, to keep us from living paycheck to paycheck. Read that again.
Okay. From the top?
No, just from where we at. Just
they cannot bark.
They cannot bark. Because if they begin to bark, they will be on the oppressor's hit list. They would rather feed and eat the crumbs of the oppressor,
right,
than to alert and to bark and to alarm their people. You understand? Hey, it's nothing in their mind all the way up until it happens to them.
Right.
You understand? We destroyed as a people. We have no understanding because of our leaders. And most of us, the reason why this classroom is not filled is because our leaders are not standing up and barking.
Right.
Because they are not standing up and alerting us and not telling us of the dangers that are before us. Listen, it's a lot of dangers that are ahead of us right now that they know about. They're not going to tell us. They're not going to give us any heads up because they're eating the crumbs falling from the oppressor's table.
Right.
You understand? They take a few silver coins. You understand? Just like Judas did Christ. They accept a few coins to send us into destruction. And that's where we at right now, in destruction. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sleeping. You understand? Go ahead.
Lying down. Loving to
slumber, man. They gonna rest. They gonna as long as they getting what they want, they at ease. They are at rest. They getting what they want. They feeding. Listen, they filling their pockets.
Right.
Loving to slumber. They just kick back and watch the little coins come in. You understand? And it's all fun and games until it happens to them.
Right.
And then they want everybody to stand up for them. You understand? They want everybody to stand up for them. You understand?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Verse 11. Yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough.
And that's our leadership right there. Just like Martin Luther King and the Big Six back in the 50s. You understand? They were greedy dogs. $1.5 million to control that march on Washington.
Right.
Supposed to have been a march on the White House and the Capitol, or the White House. Supposed to have been a march on the White House. You understand? But Kennedy paid them not to march on the White House and to march on Washington, march on the monuments.
Right.
You understand? And give a lazy speech to deceive and to distract the people, which is what Martin Luther King and the Big Six did. $1.5 million. They got $8 million in the beginning and the other $7 million if everything went well. And everything did go well. They got their $1.5 million, $250,000 a piece. Think about this, right? That's a lot of money in the 1950s.
Right.
That's almost like having $2.5 million a piece in the 1950s. Understand that. Listen, I always go back. My mother bought a 1974 Pinto wagon. Think about it. In 1974, cost her, I believe, $1,700. New off the lot. New off the lot. Think about it. That's just the 70s. Or Salakia, let me bring that back. I think it was $2,700. But in any fact, we had a new house. And it's just a single, my mother was a single mother, a single house. A single parent. She bought a new house and a car, all in the same year, off of one salary. And she was going to school. You understand what I'm saying? So think about, let's go back 20 years before that, and you get $250,000. Think about how much money that is. You understand? I just want to give you the magnitude and what our people go through for money. What we'll do to our people for money. You could never pay a so-called Jewish man any kind of money to deceive and to lead his people down the wrong path. You could never do anything. You couldn't do that to the East Indians. You couldn't do that to the Africans. You couldn't do that to the Arabs. But guess who you could do it to? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. You can do it to Israel. You understand? And that's where we come short at. Go ahead, read that again.
Come. Isaiah chapter 56 and 11. Yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough.
They can never have enough. You understand? They could never have enough. This is why most of our leaders are that are in positions of power. This is the reason why nothing gets done where we live at. Think about this. In Baltimore, we 87% black. All the leadership in Baltimore, damn near 95%, is black. Why are we still living in poverty? Why are we the most poverty-stricken people in Baltimore? Why is that? Why do we live in the most terrible neighborhoods? Because of our leadership.
Right.
Because of our leadership. Said they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough. And as long as they got us to feed off of, they will never have enough.
Right.
They're going to keep doing the same thing. Read on.
Okay. And they are shepherds that cannot understand.
They are shepherds that cannot understand. They don't understand these scriptures. They don't understand the truth. You understand? All they know is what they can do to help themselves.
Right.
Go ahead.
They all look to their own way.
They all look to their own way. They all, just like we said before, they all look to how they can get rich. Not how the nation can get rich, but how they can get rich. Not how they can bring their own people up and have people who would support them because they have helped the people, but they look to their own way. Go ahead.
Come. Everyone for his gain.
Everyone for his gain. Go ahead.
From his quarter.
That's it. Everyone for his own gain. Everybody is out for self. Everybody is out to do their own thing. You understand?
Right.
This is how we are destroyed as a people. You understand?
Come.
This class is about salvation. But we could never get salvation if we keep having our leaders keep selling us out the way they do. They stand up for all the other nations, but don't stand up for us. We're the only nation that needs to be saved. We are the only people who are in danger. Listen, these people look, 6 Asians get hurt and they get an Asian hate law in 2 weeks.
Right.
We have been murdered, hung, slain, raped, robbed, and everything in America since we've been on the shores of America. And we can't even get a bill passed. A civil rights bill. You understand? But how can you ask for civil rights from a people who are not civil? Mm-hmm. From a people who have no civility about themselves? How can you look for it? You understand? Right. What we talked about, right? We said we're going to touch on some points, just like we did Saturday. We're going to touch on points about, who the Jews are, because a lot of us don't understand who the real biblical Jew is.
Right.
We are the true biblical Jew of the Bible. Grab Jeremiah 14:2. We're going to go right there first. I think we touched on that earlier, right? Let me go right here. It's taking too long. Hey, let me know when you get that.
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth.
It says Judah mourneth, right? Remember this book. We can agree that this Bible is about the Jews, right? It's about Israel. It's about Israel. It's about their God. It's about our kings, and our what they call the disciples. It's about our no. The people of the Bible. Come on, man. Prophets. My mind, man, going everywhere. It's about the prophets of the Bible. It talks about the prophets and how the prophets were giving us prophecies, telling us what we had to do, what we couldn't do, and things like that, right? So that's what the Bible is about, right? About the prophets, you understand? It says Judah mourneth. Who is Judah? Judah is the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, right? It says Judah mourneth. Judah is in a low state.
Right.
You understand? We are the ones being destroyed. This is the reason why we are in mourning. Our leadership is broken. This is the reason why we're in mourning. It says Judah mourneth. You understand? So how could the so-called Jewish man be Judah?
Right.
You understand? The so-called Jewish man is not in mourning. You understand?
Right.
And us being in mourning means that we need salvation. We need to be saved. You understand? It says Judah mourneth. Go ahead.
And the gates thereof languish.
It says, and the gates thereof language. What does that mean? What are the gates? What is a gate? What does a gate do? It protects. And who are the gates represent? What does the gates represent?
Represent our leaders.
Our leaders. Our leaders. Go ahead, sir.
Small thing. It's a real small thing. The gate.
Oh, Salakia.
You got it.
Got you. It says the gates are for protection. The gates keep things in and keeps things out. You understand? The gates, look, we always been represented as sheep, right? So when we are inside that gate, what does that gate protect us from as sheep? Protects us from dangers outside, as just like protects us from wolves. It protects us from the enemy. You understand? Go ahead, read that again.
Okay. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof
It
languish.
says the gates thereof languish. The gates are our protection. The gates are supposed to be our leaders. You understand? Our leaders are supposed to protect us from all kinds of danger. This is what we were talking about earlier when we said our leaders are like dumb dogs. They don't bark, they slumber, loving to sleep, and all of that. You understand? They don't protect us from the things that are a danger to us. They don't keep us from harm's way. You understand? It says the gates thereof languish. What does it mean to languish? Fail. Our leadership has failed us. Our leadership are broken. The gates thereof languish. Our leadership is broken. It's destroyed. You understand? Just like we said with Martin Luther King, all of the leaders. Think about this, Letitia James. She's supposed to be a leader. She's supposed to protect, right? She's supposed to be doing her job to uphold and protect her people too, right? But she does not do that. But she'll stand up and she'll scream, bloody murder for the so-called, Jewish man that's being, what they call it, unalived by Hamas. You understand? She'll stand up for that. But just like we said, all of those murders that are happening in New York, why is she not standing up for that? All of those unnecessary, what do they call, stops by the police in New York, and assaults and things like that, and murders by New York police. She ain't standing up for that. But she can stand on her soapbox for that. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And they are black unto the ground.
It says they are black unto the ground. You understand? When you dig into the ground, you got all shades, different shades of black, brown, and everything. That's the way the ground is, and that's the way Israel is. We come in all shades. You understand? They are black unto the ground. You understand? Listen. We have to come back, and we have to stand up, and we have to bring our people in so that our people can have righteous rulership under this ISUPK.
Right.
You understand? We gotta get, we out there on the streets talking to our people, but we gotta get them to an understanding that the leaders that we have today are broken. They destroyed. They are not out for us. They are out for self.
Right.
You understand? We destroyed as a people. We need to be saved. You understand? Salvation is for us, the so-called, I'm saying so-called, for the biblical Jew of the Bible. This is our law, statutes, and commandments. This book was written for us. You understand? These commandments were written for us. This is our history in this book. You understand? These biblical prophecies in this book were for us. It tells what is going to happen to the heathen nations if we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. It tells that we'll be on top. Right now, they are the head and we are the tail because we refuse to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of this book. You understand?
Right.
Let's drop that. We're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32. And she cried about how they were being snatched off the streets and how their babies were being unalived. You understand how people were, being snatched and thrown into cars and stuff like that. And I mean, she was screaming at the top of her lungs with everything that she had. You understand? But we definitely don't hear her speaking out about that when it happens to our brothers and sisters.
Right.
You understand? Unaliving our brothers and sisters. You understand? This is the reason why we got to be the leaders. We got to stand up. We got to take charge. The way we take charge is what we do. Get out on them streets and we spreading that truth. You understand? Under commanding General Yohanan.
That's right.
You understand? You got that? Go ahead. Let's read.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Let me ask a question. Are their sons and daughters being given to another people? I never heard of their sons and daughters being given to another people. How could they be that Jew in this Bible? How could they be the Jew of the Bible? Their sons and daughters are not given to another people, but I know our sons and daughters are being given to another people. You understand?
Right.
How often do we see on TV our babies being adopted by these heathens?
Right.
And being treated like garbage? How often do we see it? How often do we see these people come in and take our children from us because of the condition that they have placed us in?
Right.
They have placed us in utter poverty and then come in and take our children, take our babies. Even when we sending our children to school, our children are being given to another people. Our children go into these schools and are pledging their allegiance to another nation.
Right.
And whenever you pledge your allegiance to another nation, you pledge your allegiance against your nation. That's what the Pledge of Allegiance is about. The Pledge of Allegiance is saying that you will fight and do anything you can for America, but you will leave your nation. We are not Americans. So when you pledge your allegiance, you're pledging to fight against your own people. We know everything that America has created in America was not created for us. Every law that they created was created to keep us in the condition that we find ourselves in today.
Right.
This is the reason why we say we are the ones that need salvation. We are the ones that need to be saved. No other people. Think about it, right? When the so-called Asian man comes over here, is he in danger? As a matter of fact, me and my rib a couple of weeks ago, we went over into, was that North Potomac? When we see all the whole Asian, listen, when we talk about it, when we talk about a community, we ain't talking about just a couple of blocks. We talking about schools, stores, neighborhoods where you see all kinds of Asians, tall, fat, skinny. They doing all the jogging and everything. They doing all the walking of the dogs. They had a whole community in North Potomac. We did the flex, the Amazon flex over there. And they got a whole community of their own off that chicken and fried rice money.
Right.
We allow them to come and chew out. Sir, you got to.
They don't call that the ghetto.
They don't call that. Oh no, listen, Cap. I couldn't even call it the ghetto. Even if I was on my maddest day, I couldn't call it the ghetto. So much so I wanted to be there. And that's the thing that we dream about for our people. But was that back? Rockville, Maryland?
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, and
Up 270 and all that.
yep, Cap, we done been over there a couple of times.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the houses over there?
Yeah.
All that chicken and fried rice money,
Yeah.
all that egg rolls and all that stuff. They built the whole damn near whole city off of that. You understand? Exactly. And this is the reason I don't want to get too far off. This is the reason why we say we got to come together and start supporting our own. Now, I know we know one or two, but we got to start silently boycotting them like they silently boycott us.
Right.
We got to slowly stop and pull ourselves away. Just like we talk about, we got to pull ourselves from America, pull ourselves from the customs and cultures of America. We got to pull ourselves from the customs and culture of them too, of the heathen nations, because we support them. We got to pull ourselves back. Now, I know we don't have a lot, but we got to start somewhere where we start drying them up, letting them move out, and then we have to move our own people in. Telling Cap, what was I telling you about 2 or 3 years ago, Cap, how when we were young, all of the corner stores was owned by black people. I never thought, the first time I saw this Asian John move in our neighborhood in 1987, and they got the store in our neighborhood in 1987, I never thought that every store would be owned by them ever in my life. Every corner store was owned by black people, from Poplar Grove and Emerson to Park Heights, all the way to Bell and Garrison, all the way over to the east side. From the deepest of the west to the deepest of the east, everybody owned. And then the black people used to live right upstairs. I remember across the street from my grandmother where they used to come downstairs and neighbor John was opening up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So we could get candy before we went to school. You understand? We got to get back to that. And then we got to go on top of that and start running our own communities. We let heathens come into our community and police us. Like
Right.
we can't police ourselves. Go ahead, Cap.
And generations after, the 80s and the 90s never seen that.
Exactly.
If I just to add this a little bit, if I could, like it's so destructive because generations after that
Right.
can't even comprehend that Baltimore was black.
Right.
I mean, not only just black people here, but sufficient with their own economy and their own businesses and they way of life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just to add with this.
Well, think about this too, right? Back in the 70s, all of those stalls down Lexington Market used to be run by black people. In the 70s. In the 70s. Now you look at it now, you're like, man, that's incredible. That's impossible. It was. And this is the thing, right? Just like it's impossible, a lot of people think about that and hear that and say, man, that's impossible. It's going to be the same way with the transatlantic slave trade, which they're trying to wipe away out the history books right now. We know it was true now, but 2 generations from now, once they get finished messing with these history books and these school books, your grandkids going to come up saying, nah, that's impossible. We could never been enslaved.
Look, they're doing it now.
Yeah, they're doing it now.
They we don't even, just to add just a little, I don't know, mean to interrupt. But we don't even think being in our own society is possible.
Right.
Without the oppressor.
Right.
Just to add.
And listen, and this is the reason why they say our oppressor got to be saved with us.
Right.
If the oppressor ain't gonna be saved, I don't want to be saved either.
Right.
Our people can't see a heaven. Now, think about this now. We ain't talking about a heaven up in the sky. We talking about when the scriptures say heaven is right here on earth.
Right.
Heaven and hell is right here on earth. We living in a hellish condition right now. Right. But our people can't imagine a heaven right here on earth without our oppressor being in it. That's how destroyed we are. We can't imagine not being saved without the oppressor. And the Bible tells us that salvation is only for the Jew. And we have already pointed out that the Jews are black.
Right.
We can't imagine not being somewhere comfortable, living fabulously without the oppressor being there. We can't imagine it. When society was like that at one time, Israel was like that. You understand? But it's been so far wiped from our minds that we can't imagine it, and it's going to happen again if we don't stand up on this truth. If we don't stand by these laws, statutes, and commandments, we're gonna go through the same thing all over again. Hey, listen, World War III is right here at our doorsteps. We watching it unfold right now. This is what the Most High has been talking about right here in this book. We are, listen, we on the verge of being saved.
Right.
Christ returning and destroying our enemies. That's what it means to be saved. For your enemies to be destroyed and you not be in danger anymore.
Right.
You understand? That's what it means to be saved. Drop that. We're going to go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. This is my favorite scripture right here. I love this scripture right here. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. I could never. We can't imagine a life without the oppressor. But believe it or not, it's going to happen with or without the non-believers.
Right.
You understand? Because this truth right here in ISUPK is growing. And listen, check this out. You know what I always say? Think about this, right? I always say, I remember when I first came in this truth a few years back, I was the last brother in, number 7, right? And then I look back and I see brothers behind me. That's how I know this truth is growing. You understand? I know this truth is growing. Because I remember, like I said, I remember being that young man. I remember being that trooper. I remember being, con, sir, get that. God, sir, con. You understand what I'm saying? And now I got brothers behind me. This truth is growing faster than you think. And before you know it, you're going to be up on your 5th, 6th year, 7th year in the truth. Getting stronger and stronger in this word. Knowing that we coming up on salvation. We coming up on being saved. You understand?
Okay.
Where we at?
2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, sir.
Go ahead, read that for me.
It's the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means.
Say that again.
Let no man deceive you by any means.
Hey, listen, the problem with us right now is we letting men deceive us.
Right.
Not to mention the oppressor, but we letting our leadership deceive us. We let men deceive us every day when they say, oh, everybody can be saved. Everybody cannot be saved. Think about this, right? If everybody can be saved, what's the whole point in reading this Bible?
Right.
What's the whole point in being in the truth? But Christ doesn't say everybody can be saved. Christ says he only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You understand? Salvation is only for the Jew. Am I right?
Right.
You understand? What's the whole point? If everybody can be saved, we might as well go and do our thing and then get saved in the end.
Right.
You understand? That's like a free pass, right? But it's just like you ever see Bugs Bunny when the airplane going down, all of a sudden, boom, just before it hit the ground, he hit the air brakes, and then nigga jump out. You understand? That that's you might as well say if everybody can be saved, then that's what it is, right? But we know that's impossible. You understand? We are the only ones that can be saved. It tells us that in the scriptures. But we let men deceive us. The scriptures tell us, let no man deceive you by any means. You understand? Read on.
For that day shall not come.
Say that again.
For that day shall not come.
It says, for that day shall not come. What day is he speaking about? Go ahead.
Good, sir. Christ returns, sir.
Exactly. It's a day that Christ returned. We just said that earlier. A day that Christ returned and destroys our enemies. You understand? We cannot be deceived, least that day shall not come. If we keep living under this cloud, living and believing that the oppressor can be saved, living and believing that we can come together in one big melting pot, we will not be saved. Oh, did you hear the word, sir? You understand? We gotta be in this truth, and we gotta have an understanding that we are the only ones that salvation was created for.
Right.
Salvation is for the Jew. We are the true biblical Jews of the Bible. This Bible is our history. This is our constitution. This is our moral compass. This is where we get all of our understanding. It says truth and knowledge is right here in this book. You understand? Go ahead.
Except there come a falling away
It
first.
says, except there come a falling away first. What does that mean? Except there come a falling away first. What does that mean?
I mean, so the text, all right, so this scripture is talking about us, right? So falling away meaning that we separate ourselves from the other nations, you know what I mean, from the slaves.
Separating ourselves from the other nations, falling away from their customs and culture, falling out of America. Stop saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Stop pledging our allegiance to America. Stop looking for integration, falling away from the customs and cultures of America, falling away from homosexuality. America. Can I say that? Did I say that? I can't say that, can I?
Alternative lifestyle. You know,
LGBTQ.
Man, you got so much stuff we can't say now, boy. It's like kind of hard.
you gotta say alternative lifestyle.
Falling away from alternative lifestyles, addiction, falling away from the addiction. Listen, a lot of these customs and culture we know are not ours.
Right.
You understand? We talked about that Saturday, right? A lot of this stuff comes from the other nations. You understand? I said I got over 500 karate movies, and every time I watch a karate movie, you see them sniffing them, sniffing. You understand what I'm saying? We know that is not our culture. You understand? Alternative lifestyle. We know where the alternative lifestyle comes from. That's our oppressor.
Right.
That is not of our customs and culture. That was against our customs and culture. It tells us in the Bible that mankind should not lie with mankind as he lies with womankind. And womankind should not lie with womankind as she lies with mankind. You understand? That tells you right there that that's against our customs and culture. The only way that Christ can return for us to be saved is if we fall away from the customs and cultures of our oppressor and the heathen nations. Don't get involved with the heathen nations. Don't make marriages with them. You understand? Think about this. This has to be a curse for us, especially with a lot of our sisters. It started with the brothers going out and marrying the other nations. But now it's like this veil has fell across the eyes of our sisters, and our sisters are way gone. But our sisters are way gone because the brothers are way gone.
Right.
You understand? Christ, listen, it said, God is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of man. Man is the head of woman. There's an order. And because we fall out of order, everything falls apart. You understand that when everything falls apart, that's when everything goes into chaos. And this is the reason why we need to be saved. Because we are in contention with the Most High. We are in iniquity. You understand? We are sinning against the Most High because we have fallen into the customs and culture of the trees that are round about us, of the other nations that are round about us. You understand? Go ahead.
Oh, God. Except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed.
Hey, once we fall away from the customs and culture, we'll understand who that man of sin is. We'll understand who has been deceiving us. You understand?
Right.
And they said a man, that man of sin. You understand? This is a person. We see these people every day. We follow them. Look at our women with this blonde hair. You understand? Look at our women with these long eyelashes.
Right.
You understand? Look at our women with the outrageous behavior, which has never been the customs and cultures of us. If you look at all of those old movies of the 1920s and 30s, that's the custom that's the custom of our oppressor.
Right.
How their women act. You know how we calling everybody Karens now? That's their custom and culture to be like that. But our women are taking that on, believing that, what do we call it? This is how you be black. You understand? We pinning it on ourselves. After they pasted it on us, now we pinning it on ourselves. We're becoming accustomed to being like that, to the point where it's starting to look like this was always our customs and culture. It has never been our custom and culture. I remember being in junior high school and a girl came to school with just a little fake ponytail in her head. She got ragged the whole day till she took it out.
Mm.
Now you got women with lace fronts and everything stitched in all the way down. Look, you got little girls got hair hanging down to their feet now.
Little girl, like
Babies.
Right, elementary school kid. And I remember think about this though, right? I remember in the early 90s, people would say, don't put that in a little girl's head.
Right.
You understand? Knowing what it does. And think about it, right? A lot of these sisters, go ahead, sir.
Perm.
The who?
Perm.
Oh, yeah, that too. The perm too. You understand? Knowing it's destroying your hair. Knowing it's destroying. Think about it, right? I don't want to get too far, but our hair was created for a purpose the way it is. Our hair protects us. A lot of people don't understand that. What we have, and this is the reason why a lot of them want to be us, because they know the properties that are inside of us. They don't want to be us, but they want what we got.
Right.
The oppressor doesn't want to be us on the football field, but he wants what we got on the football field. Same thing with the basketball field. Same thing in the surgical room.
Right.
Same thing in mathematics and everything. They want what we are, but they don't want to be us, because they know the hell that we're living in.
Right.
And this is the reason why we have to be saved. This is the reason why salvation is for the Jew. Tells us that in the book. Read that again.
Come on. It's the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means.
But don't let no man deceive you. We've been deceived enough. We have been deceived enough. You understand? We have been lied to since we've been here. Think about it, right? We've been lied to so much so that every 4 years we believe that somebody's going to step into that office and give us civil rights.
Right.
Every year. Who you voting for this year? Who you voting for? Well, I believe this person right here, he said, and we never get. Go ahead.
Or they say, it's like I could, or they say, I'm voting for the lesser of the two evils.
Lesser of the two evils. Listen, you voting for evil either way.
Right.
Either way, you're not going to get anything. We know that. Either way. We have been deceived enough. Read on.
Come. For that day shall not come.
Listen, Christ can't return and save us. You understand? If we keep being deceived by the oppressor. Go ahead.
Except there come a falling away first.
Getting out of the customs and culture. We got to stop getting high. We got to stop living those alternative lifestyles. Think about it, right? The Most High did not make an alternative lifestyle. He made man and he made woman.
Right.
and he put them together to procreate. He said, be fruitful and multiply. Two men cannot multiply, two women cannot multiply. The only thing they can do is subtract, take away. Take away from what the Most High created. Go ahead.
And that man of sin be revealed.
And the man of sin be revealed. Who makes all these laws? Who said it's okay to be LGBTQ? Who said that pork is the new white meat?
Right.
You understand? Who said that it's okay for a teen to do what he wants? He doesn't have to listen to his parents. You understand? This is the reason why our children being destroyed now. Going into those schools and pledging that allegiance to these other nations. It's the reason why we're being destroyed in the way that we're being destroyed. You understand?
Come.
Go ahead.
The son of perdition.
Listen, the son of destruction. Who destroys everything all across the face of the earth?
Right.
That's the son of perdition. Who has all the nuclear weapons? The son of perdition. Who is murdering all across the face of the planet? The son of perdition. Who is stealing land all across the earth? The son of perdition. Who is stealing resources all across the face of the earth? The son of perdition. Feel me?
Come.
Let's jump back to Matthew chapter 15, verse 22. Go ahead.
Book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 22. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast.
The African woman, go ahead.
And cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord.
Have mercy on me, O Lord. Go ahead.
Thou son of David.
And she recognized who he was. Read on.
My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil.
Her daughter had an evil spirit about her. Go ahead.
But he answered her not a word.
He ain't even answer her. Why? Because she wasn't worthy.
Right.
You understand? These other nations are not worthy of us. Read on.
And his disciples came and his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away, for she crieth after us.
Read on.
Verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Say that again.
But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Hey, listen, Christ said he is not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He was not sent to save anybody but the lost sheep of the house of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. You understand?
Right.
Salvation is only for us. You understand? And the only way we receive salvation is if we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
You understand? Drop that. And go give me that John chapter 4, verse 22.
It's the book of John, chapter 4, verse 22. Ye worship, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews.
All right, we're going to break that down again. Read that again.
Book of John, chapter 4 and 22. Ye worship, ye know not what.
Let's say that again. Ye worship, ye know not what. What does that mean?
Oh, in other words, the brother is saying you worshiping what you don't know what you worship.
Exactly.
You think you know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. So,
Exactly. You don't know what you worshiping.
right.
You don't know nothing about this book.
Right.
You don't know who this is for. But you worshiping something you don't know nothing about.
Right.
Read on.
We know what we worship.
Listen, we know what we worship. Here in the ISUPK, we know what we worship. We have an understanding of this Bible. Go ahead.
For salvation is of the Jews.
Say that again.
For salvation is of the
For
Jews.
salvation is of the Jews. We are the ones that whose salvation is for. You understand? We are the ones that can be saved. Listen, we the only ones that are in danger. No other nation of people are in danger. Listen, think about it, right? America's at war with China, right? But how many Chinese people are over here today living their best life,
Right,
living in the lap of luxury? We just talked about them in North Potomac,
right,
right? America was at war with Afghanistan, right?
right.
How many Arabs over here living their best life? Listen, think about this. When 9/11 happened, how many Arabs got pulled over and shot mistakenly
Right.
when that happened? How many? None. They living their best life. They are not in danger. Salvation is not for them.
Right.
You understand? America has been raping and robbing and pillaging us. We have been in danger since we hit the shores of America. We have been in danger since we what? Since Jerusalem got sacked in 70 AD. We were in danger even before that. When Rome was in control of Jerusalem in 65, right? Am I right, Cap? 65 AD? 65 AD, Rome took over Jerusalem, right?
Wait a second.
And then they sacked it in 70 AD, right?
We call it the 70 AD destruction.
The 70 AD destruction. We've been in danger for that long, and then we fled into the deepest parts of of Africa. We were in danger in there too, because we was in another people's land.
Right.
We have always been in danger. We have always needed salvation. You understand?
Come on.
Go ahead.
Verse 22. But the hour cometh. And
Oh no, you could drop that. That was it. I just wanted that 22. Oh, you went to 23. No, we could drop that. No,
Sorry.
I'm good. You know. Listen, give me Psalms chapter 147, verse 19 and 20. You understand? No other nation can be saved.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob.
Does that say that again?
He showeth his word unto Jacob.
Who is Jacob?
Like the Spanish native American, sir.
There we go. Read on.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Listen, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. These laws and these judgments are unto Israel. This book was created for us. You understand? This book was created for our benefit, not any other nation. These words in this book were to speak to us and to guide us morally. You understand? And ethically. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead.
So come on. His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Go ahead.
Verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation.
Read it again.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
He have not dealt so with any other nation. These law, statutes, and commandments were only created for us.
Right.
He have not dealt so with any nation. Listen, that's the reason why we are number one in heart disease. Listen, these other nations eat just worse than us. But because we are under these laws, statutes, and commandments, this is the reason why we suffer the way we do. You understand? Other nations out here stealing, robbing, you understand, and murdering, but we suffer more because we under the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand?
Right.
This is the reason why we number one in heart disease. We number one in high cholesterol. We number one in HIV, which they say we are. You understand what I'm saying? We number one in all the worst things because we choose to follow the other nations.
Right.
We choose to tag along and be that little brother. These nations are supposed to be following us. They're supposed to be taking orders from us. They supposed to be paying homage to us, but instead the tables are reversed. We pay homage to these other nations. How do we pay homage to these other nations? By going into and delving into their customs and culture,
Right.
by doing as they do, just what the Most High told us not to do. You understand?
Right.
This is the reason why we are in the condition that we in, because we didn't follow the law, statutes, and commandments. The Bible tells us that if we don't follow his law, statutes, and commandments, these curses will befall us, will befall upon us. You understand what I'm saying? I'm paraphrasing. But that's in what's that, Deuteronomy 28:15, right? Curses will be upon us. And that's why we living in the conditions that we living in. We don't have to live like this. All we got to do is do what our Father tells us to do. All we got to do is stop following these heathen nations. You understand? And we would be saved. You understand? It's we are the only nation that needs to be saved. We are the only nation that is in danger. You understand? And until we come back, you understand, this is the way it's going to be. I got one more scripture.
You want to finish that, sir?
Go ahead.
As,
Go ahead.
and as for his judgments, they have not known them.
Listen, as for the judgments, they have not known them. They listen, this is not written for them.
Right.
They just stumbled across our law, statutes, and commandments, and they felt like everything was for everybody. It's not for everybody. Law, statutes, and commandments are only for us.
Right.
You understand? And as for the judgments, they have not known them. You understand? This is the reason why we dying at an alarming rate. It's the reason why we being incarcerated at a high rate. You understand? Because these judgments fall upon us. It's the reason why our children are being destroyed, because these curses fall upon us. Think about it. If one little oppressor's girl goes missing, they send the whole nation out looking.
Right.
I think we got over 50,000 sisters missing in DC alone, in the District of Columbia alone. Nobody's sending out a cry for them, huh? Why is that? Because we being cursed. We cursed as a people. And as long as we following these other nations, we always gonna be cursed. This is the reason why we need to be saved. But the only way we can be saved is we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand?
Right.
With that, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. With that, pass the class over to Priest Officer Nadawan.
Security announcements. With ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3, verse 8 and 20. It's like 8 and 10. Means tenth in Hebrew and it's pronounced ma'asherah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher, priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations. What we got, sir?
Oh, Hanukkah.
Hanukkah. What's the date? If you could, sir.
Thursday
Thursday, December the 7th. All right, 2023. First Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 52. You can find it in there. 61. 51 through 61, Salaki. All right. Remind Akim and Akwifin to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he has to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. Give one courteous salute to the teacher, men of Israel, mighty. Mighty Shabbat, mighty, rock. Yahweh Bashiri, Yahweh Shah, Rakatha. Azmatah. Saw, turn to face the sisters. Sister Mighty. Ben Israel, give one courteous salute to the sister. Ben Israel, mighty Shabbat, mighty, rock. Yahweh Shema, Allah Thumb, Bashim, Yahweh Shah. Yazmatah, class dismissed.
Real quick before you end the stream, I got a word to say to everybody on the
Come concert.
You came up on the stage just wave a thumb. Get that oil. Yeah, on the left side. Here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, just like the brothers just mentioned, every brother that wants to be a trooper in the school is to wear all black for 90 days. We got a young man here that's been doing that for 90 days, and tonight he's going to be getting his Hebrew name.
Most High in Christ.
Come on up here, brother. You can fix this camera so they can see him.
Come concert.
Real quick. You're going to stand up right here. You can take your jacket off. We're gonna say a couple things about the brother before we send up this prayer. This is the tradition in the school. You know, the brother been absolutely diligent in coming to these classes, online and in person. Wayne is all black, being a lot of brothers coming to the feast days, contributing. You understand? And the conversation that we had is absolutely mature. His character is respectable.
Right.
You understand? And it's One West. You understand? Absolutely. From there on out, your name will no longer be what it was in the world. But from there on out, your name will be Bakar, which means birthright.
Most High in Christ.
You understand? That name was given because you're going to carry the traditions of the school and of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? You've been given that right. You understand? That's a heavy, heavy name to have. So, you know what I'm saying? Keep it with honor. You know what I'm saying? We're going to raise this brother up. We're going to do the prayers. And any other brother has something to say before I continue?
If I could, sir.
Please. You can.
If I could, the brother Bakar is from what I've experienced from the brother. Brother, look, I appreciate you. You're dynamic. You understand? You're diligent, and I see the potential in you, brother. You understand? And that might not mean a lot right now, but just do the work and you'll see. You understand? Mighty man right here, man. The brother came to camp, standing outside the camp. And you know what I mean? Officer Tazaba ain't no little dude. You know what I'm saying? Officer Tazaba is scared the biggest person, right? So I don't know how it actually went down, but I saw how he walked up on him. He was like, "Who's you?" He stood firm, like, "So I'm here for the camp." "Oh, I was standing over there." You know what I'm saying? And he stood. You know what I mean? And he held it down. He came to camp consistently since we've been back outside down Lexington Market, man. And brother, I appreciate you. You know what I mean? Congratulations on getting that trophy of a name. You understand?
It's not a light thing.
Brother was online for a long time. You know what I mean? Right. And then coming into the school, you know, he just was faithful. You know what I mean? So I was glad to see him come up in here, and then I was glad to see him keep coming. You know, keep returning. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to have him in here. I'm glad he got his Hebrew name. He deserved it. you
Also,
know?
right.
And it's well earned. You know, a lot goes into this process, and we understand. We all up here understand it's not a light thing, and the angels know that ain't a light thing. They rejoicing right now. They're like, yeah, you got another one in this joint. You heard.
Definitely.
That's what the scriptures say. They rejoice when the brother comes to the truth. You know what I'm saying? That's what time it is. You understand? So your name is Bakar from here on out, which means birthright. You're gonna carry on that tradition of your forefathers. You know what I mean? And you want to teach the generations after you what you've been taught, as we discussed many times. What anointing is it in this one?
Should be. That's the
number
number one,
one,
I
right?
got it. Just the brothers up here gonna repeat after me. Been a while, stuck together. So, okay. Before that, I need the oil.
Gotcha.
We're gonna anoint this brother's head with oil. It's a tradition. You want to fix this camera where they can see everything. You just anointed this brother's head with oil. And again, his name will no longer be what it was prior to this day, but his name will now be, from here on out, will be Bakar, which means birthright. All right? All right.
A little bit more. There you go.
All right. So, all the brothers up on the stage. I think that's fine. We can fix it for now. All the brothers up here is going to repeat after me. And then you're going to say your new name, Bakar, 3 times. All right? Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yashamaraka.
Yashamaraka.
All Yahweh.
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 But Yahweh.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Yakunka.
Rayakunka.
Ayahweh.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
But Yahweh.
Ayaka.
Ayaka.
Yashamaka.
Yashamaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem. Yahushua.
Barak.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun. Magun. Bakar. Bakar. Bakar.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua. The water Aman.
You super alert. Oh, goddamn it. Congratulations, bro. God. Damn. Beautiful thing.
That's it.